I have one last new cast on to show you. It's really not much yet. I barely started it. It's honestly not even bigger than the swatch that I made for this project, but I have cast on my Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Nitty Natty. Welcome to episode 249 of the Love and Stitches podcast, and welcome to Montpelier, Vermont. Is this not so beautiful? I've got like a river behind me, all these trees. Going more that way, you can actually see more like leaf changes. We've seen so many beautiful trees this week in both Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. It's just been a fantastic week, and I'm so excited to say that we are in our 50th state, which is wild. We're not done completely with our journey yet. We still have more states to film in, but as far as visiting, we have visited all 50 states, and it really hasn't sunk in yet, but I think it will once the busyness calms down, because we're now heading into Rhinebeck week, which is going to be wild. We've been still on a pretty fast-paced filming schedule, and yeah, it hasn't really set in yet that we did it. We went to all 50 states, and it's absolutely stunning here. I have so much to share with you today as far as projects, as far as travels. I have a bunch of yarn that I have gotten this week. There's been just so many fun opportunities at so many different stores. I am really excited to get into it. But I did want to mention at the top of the episode, if you're going to be at Rhinebeck this weekend, come and meet me on Saturday. I am going to be at the bottom of the hill at 1 p.m. from 1 to 2 o'clock. I have another meetup at 2 o'clock with Love and Stitches members, so I'm only going to be there from 1 to 2 o'clock. Actually, that's probably not true. I'll probably get there a little before 1, but look for me at least starting from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock at the bottom of the hill this coming Saturday at Rhinebeck. Let's get into our projects. I want to start with a finished object, but first, a little update on the Winter Magic socks, because the pattern and the kits are now released. They are available, and I have pretty much the whole thing here from Coven Collective. So I've got the bag, which is the full box. There's a full box option that includes the bag, and then there is a smaller option that includes the yarn, the beads, and the charm. So it comes with the bag. There's a little progress keeper, comes with all the beads that you need, and then it comes with the yarn. So the main color and the two contrast colors. It does not come with the pattern. None of the boxes come with the pattern. You'll need to get that on Ravelry. I'm selling it on Ravelry independently, and you can get it for just $3 through October 31st. I made it just through the end of the month. No code needed. It says $5, but then when you click on it, it discounts to $3 right away. So that is available. But this week, as far as knitting goes, I finished my second sock, and actually I did a ton of knitting because I was right up here and I was obviously very motivated to finish this before the pattern release. I typically, when I'm doing sock patterns, because my patterns include both cuff down and toe up instructions, I try to knit one sock cuff down and one sock toe up, so I can really test and make sure, one, both of the patterns are written well, and then two, that they are going to look the same or just about the same, because I don't want them to be, distinctly different. I want them to come with a similar result. But this time, because we made a modification to the pattern through testing, I wanted to try out the different way that we made it. So you might not be able to tell at first glance that these two socks are different, but this one actually has 64 stitches all throughout. It's like a straight size. We then modified the pattern to have your usual stitch count. So I did 56 stitches here, and then you increase to the larger size just for the color work, and then you go back down and work the rest of the sock like in your normal size. And that is really, really great. And then both this version you can't get because we decided that it was much better and produced a much better fit to do it this way. But in all my iterations of the sock, there's this ribbing detail on the side that is, I think, so nice. I think it looks cool, but it's so functional because you're able to basically you take both your contrast colors together and you do some ribbing, and it makes you have more stretch, you know, in a part of the sock that doesn't have a lot of stretch, but it also means that you don't have to strand your yarn like across needles if you're doing magic loop or something. You know how hard it is to keep the same tension going from one needle to the next or like front to back? You don't have to worry about that because you're holding your two strands together. And it's just something that I've had kind of in my brain for a while, and then to get to put it into a pattern, I'm just delighted that it seems to be working really, really great. So not just great for me, but great for my testers who worked it. So this pattern is now available on my Ravelry page. The kits, they are ready to ship, and pre-orders, initial pre-orders have sold out. But if you're still interested, keep checking back on the Coven Collective website because they are going to be listing even more pre-orders that are going to ship a little bit later. So you may not get them by the end of November, but the earlier you order them, the earlier you will get them. And I'll be updating on my Instagram too. Like as of right now, the pre-orders that will ship like October 23rd or something like that, they just sold out. So I don't have any more updates yet, and it's the weekend. So I'm not expecting anything from them. But as I hear things, I will share on my Instagram. Anyway, I did finish the sock. I just love how it came out. They're so fun. And when I put them on with my boots, actually the boots I'm wearing right now, I'm not going to lift my leg up, but the boots that I have are short and they come to about right here. And so you can see the whole pattern and it just looks really, really cool. So I'm so happy with these. My plan for right now, since Sockmas, our make along, is coming up the day after Thanksgiving, which is November 29th, I'm going to knit a third sock. Basically, this is a pair, but it's like mismatched, right? Because the sizes aren't exactly the same. Even though they both fit me fine, I can wear them together. I want to have them be exactly the same. So I think my plan is to, well, maybe. I am going to have a lot of Advent stuff. I don't know yet, actually. I thought maybe I'll make a second sock that, you know, matches exactly in stitch count, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll make something else for Sockmas. The thing is, for Sockmas, we've got all of these fun, really great featured things, but you can also just make fun socks with us and join in too. We like make-alongs to be very, very flexible. Other than working on my socks, I have been trying to be diligent with my Beetlejuice blanket this week, and I've gotten a little behind, but I have a plan, of course. I always have a plan with my projects, but I want to show you what I have done first of all. So here is my lovely Beetlejuice blanket. This pattern is called the Crochet Advent Baby Blanket by Lucienne Crochet. This is my third one that I'm making, and this one's going to be for Kent. I forgot to put a progress keeper in here when I finished last week, so I think I was somewhere maybe on the 4th color, so I've done quite a few colors since then, and I didn't give any warning this time because I'm pretty far behind. Then, of course, this podcast is going to go out in a few days, so hopefully you've opened everything up to, I want to say this is day 8 or 9. Let's count. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 8 colors in, and I think today is the 13th. Yep, the 13th. So I am behind. I am pretty behind, but I'm trying not to stress about it because this is supposed to be fun. And it's okay if I'm a little behind. I've had a lot going on, and then I was trying to finish that sock, and that's all right. But my plan, I was looking at dates today, if I'm able to do 2 stripes per day, which is not going to happen every day. I'm already being realistic about that. It's not going to happen every single day because that's probably 3 hours of crocheting, and I don't always have that every day. But if I do 2 per day, I can catch up by Wednesday, I think, and I haven't even done any today, and it's already the afternoon. So we'll see, maybe I can get 1 done today. But hopefully by next weekend, I can be caught back up where I'm just doing 1 color, 1 stripe per day. So that should be fun. While I have it with me, why don't we take a look at the next couple colors? Well, actually, I may not open them up because Kent and I have been doing kind of a guessing game sort of thing. You know, we like to do that during Vlogmas in December, and we will be doing that this year, but just for us, we're just doing one right now. So let's see. Oh, I have color number 9 next. And this one says, I must express myself. There, now I think you can read it. So we'll see what that one is. And then this one, number 10, is called Everything Goes. And the way that the Little Wolf Knits does these color inspos is she takes the scene from the movie and then she pulls like 5 colors from that scene. So it could be from anything. It could be from the background. It could be from the clothes that people are wearing. And what's fun about that is it makes for so many different fun colors. I really like this last one. And of course, that was number 8, and I actually have it here in my bag. So that was called Welcome Home. So this one, this pinky one right here, with like pinks and like actually a little bit of orange and green and white. Really, really like that one. It's called Welcome Home. And she posts them daily on her Instagram stories with the scene from the movie. So that's been really, really fun to see. And because I don't mind being a little spoiled and these are a little bit light, I've been kind of looking ahead and it looks like some really bright neon-y colors are coming up, which I'm getting very excited for. So this week's focus is going to be this blanket. I want to get her caught up and back into a nice daily rhythm. We have moved into the van because I have so much to tell you and to show you from this week's travel and yarn. But first, I would love to show you my latest box from Hooks and Needles, who happens to be the sponsor of today's episode. Their kits are perfect for beginners, but also super enjoyable for anyone looking to improve their skills. And they include everything you need to get started, including step-by-step instructions with photos and 3 awesome patterns to choose from. When you subscribe, you have the flexibility to choose between knit or crochet kits, and they also have amigurumi boxes. Each box comes with high quality yarns. The knitting one that I got this time has this really super soft organic cotton and wool. It's 50% cotton and 50% wool, and it's super soft and has this cool marled texture to it. And my kit came with these 2 beautiful colors. The patterns they include are of varying skill levels, so no matter where you're at, you'll find something that you can do, or maybe even push your skill level a little bit. And then they also come with these tools. So this one has these fun like wooden buttons and this really cool little metal clasp that is for this bag that I really like. So when I was looking through the patterns, I was really into this cabled bag pattern. Hold on, I'm gonna find you the picture and show you. This is the one that I think is really cute. There's a little clasp on it. But when I put all 3 patterns on Instagram, it was looking like you really liked the sunset scarf, which is one of the more basic patterns in the booklet. If you'd like to try Hooks and Needles, you can get 20% off your first box using my link and code that is going to be down below and on the screen. Thank you so much to Hooks and Needles for sponsoring today's episode. And now back to the podcast. I started not 1, but 2 new projects this week. I think getting those socks finished. What did I finish the week before? I think I finished my Musselboro hat. And then I had I don't know. I'm like, wow, I'm actually finishing a lot more than I thought I was finishing. So it's time to cast on some new stuff. And all October long, I've been thinking, I want to make Halloween socks. I want to make Halloween socks. I had that planned in September. And so I finally cast on my Halloween socks. I got the yarn all wound up. It's so pretty, by the way. I think when I first opened this, I didn't see how many colors were in it. So this yarn is from Woolen Women Fibers, and it was in their October box, which is probably arriving around now, or it might have shipped at the beginning of October. It is so fun. Like, it's a darker gray color, and then it's got the purples, and then it's got all of these fun like speckles in it, which is looking so cool in the socks. I only barely started it. There's also a purple mini skein that I'm planning to use for the heels. I don't know why, but lately I haven't been feeling a contrast cuff. And so I've just been like starting my sock with the main color. I just kind of do whatever I'm in the mood for in the moment. So I just started these the other night because I wanted to have a nice, easy project. My crochet project, my blanket is really nice and easy, but it's not the best for every situation because it's not small and I have to look at crochet. I'm not able to crochet without looking. So having a nice knitting project that I can look away from is very handy. Oh, I hope you can see these colors. It is, even though it's overcast, for me, it's very bright, like in the direction that I'm looking. So it's a little hard for me to see the viewfinder, but hopefully you can see everything really, really nice. I also took some pictures for my Ravelry page to show this color. So this one was from the Woolen Women box for October, which I received a little bit early so I could preview it. But the November box is actually available for pre-order right now. And it's really fun. I took some pictures of it. It is a camping theme, and it's got this cute little, if you get the full box, it's got this cute little like tin mug. Of course, it has the yarn in it. They always come with a pattern, and then they have other like themed items that go in it. It looked like there was maybe a hand balm in this one. Sometimes there's a candle. It just kind of depends on the month, and it looks so cute. Usually there's like a little project bag or a needle minder or something that they've sewn. They are adorable. So I will include the link for those down below. I do love getting those, and I've had so many that I haven't had the chance to work on yet. So I'm like, let me pause for the month of November, and then when I get back to my parents' house, I'm going to pick it back up in December. And now I'm like, maybe I should get the November one because it is camping themed. Actually, yeah, I think the project bag has like little tents and stuff on it. It's extremely cute. So if you missed October, but you want to get November, those are available. You can sign up for the Woolen Women boxes through October 23rd. I have one last new cast on to show you. It's really not much yet. I barely started it. It's honestly not even bigger than the swatch that I made for this project, but I have cast on my Salty Days sweater by Veronica Lindbergh. Yay! See, I told you it's not much. I basically one night was like, okay, I'm gonna get my knitting projects in order and crochet projects. Got my projects in order, and then I kind of reserved like a little chunk of time right before bed to cast this project on and do a few rows, and it was so delightful. And I felt like it was a little treat, right, at the end of a day. It was also a day where we were celebrating that we had made it to Vermont and we had hit our 50th state. It was also the day that the Winter Magic Socks pattern and kits were going live. So I was like, you know, there's a lot to celebrate. I don't really have a lot of time to celebrate it today, like to, I don't know, go to dinner or something like that. And so this was my little treat to cast this on. And it was a good time to cast it on too, because the days since then have been a little too busy to, you know, mentally take on starting a new project, which is why I haven't done anything else on it. But if you saw the vlog I put out on Tuesday, it was that kind of whole day, everything we were doing, and then leading up to casting this on. So hopefully next week you're going to see a lot more on it. So even though this is all I've done, I only did like 30 minutes of knitting probably. And so it's moving pretty fast for that. This is actually the back neck, which looks very small. I'm interested to see. It is a very like a rapid increase along the raglan sleeve. So it starts out really skinny and goes out really rapid. It looks like for the designer and for other people in the pattern that the armholes kind of gather a little bit. Like when you're doing so many increases, it's tight, like pretty snug right there. So I'm interested to see that. This is definitely going to be a project where I'm trying it on a lot once I get like more pieces together. But so far, so fun. It's just a nice little rib pattern right now, but soon there will be lace and texture and all kinds of fun things in this pattern. This is my final intentional wardrobe project of the year. I set out in the beginning of 2024 to make a few pieces. I chose one thing per quarter. Actually, this was one of them and this was one of them. So my Musselboro hat, I made a matching hat and scarf, and I bought some gloves that were already machine made in the same yarn. And then I wanted a sweatshirt, so I did that. And then the last piece is I wanted something wintry to kind of like wear to holiday parties, feel a little fancy in the winter months. So ideally I will finish this by the end of November. We'll see. It's already mid-October, but hopefully that will happen. This is my Woolen Women label. That's not what I thought was going to be in there. That needs to go that needs to go in this project bag. Maybe I'm not as organized as I thought. I think I might have taken out the yarn labels. Yeah, I believe I did, but let me show you the yarn still real quickly. So for this whole project, I'm going to be holding two yarns together. One is a worsted weight independent yarn. This is from, I think it's called the Little Fox. I got it in Virginia at Fiber Space. Actually, that tour is going to be coming up in a few weeks. And then this one is the one that was recommended in the pattern. But of course, now I'm forgetting the name of the yarn. I think it's Knitting for Olive, and it's like a mohair silk. And they're looking really pretty and really soft and like exactly what I was imagining together. When they are together, this mohair can take on a lot of different like shades. Like sometimes it looks a little bit pink, sometimes it looks a little more taupe. Sometimes like in this lighting, it's almost looking like even a little bit brighter. But when you hold them together, they are just a really nice, creamy color that is exactly what I was looking for in this sweater. I want the pattern itself to really sing and the yarn to just be yummy and textured and soft. And that's exactly what it's doing. So next week, hopefully, we'll see a little more fun, a little more texture, and it'll look a little bit more like a sweater. This week we have done so much, and we have been to our 48th, 49th, and 50th state. And if you've been watching episodes maybe like back to back, you will notice that I have skipped a state because what I realized is in my count for travel, I have had 2 counts this whole time. I've had places like states that we've been to and states that we have filmed a tour in. And technically a state is not checked off of our list until we filmed the tour, but we already knew we were going to have to go back to Ohio and South Carolina, which we have previously visited. But there's a state that I totally forgot to include in that count, and that is New Jersey. We've spent a lot of time in New Jersey since we started traveling in August of 2023. I just didn't have it on my list. So as we were getting closer and closer to the 50 state mark, and I'm looking at the numbers, I'm like, something isn't right because Vermont should be our 50th state, but we are going to have 49 for that in my count. And then I realized that I forgot to include New Jersey way long ago. So I am retotaling that and saying that Maine, where we're going to start this week, is our 48th state. So we're going to get to all of those, but let's start with Maine because we did a lot of stuff in Maine. So I already talked last week about our time in Acadia, but we had not gone to any yarn stores yet. So as we were making our way from Acadia back into Portland to go to Knitwit to film, we stopped at another yarn store. We went to Yard Goods Center in Waterville, Maine, and it was such a fun time. We were planning to stay for, I don't know, didn't know how long we were going to be there, but we ended up staying for 2 hours and we got to meet the owner Joyce and learn all about the store. I have a bunch of video that I'm going to share here, but also I'm planning to share more on Instagram. But it was just so fun. They have been in business since I think 1949 when her mom opened the store. And there's a whole huge yarn side. There's also a fabric side that I didn't even go in or film or anything. We just focused on the yarn and it was incredible. But I feel like you need to hear from Joyce herself. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Yard Goods Center in Waterville, Maine.
She was so funny and literally energy level like that the entire time. It was wild. We also got to meet some of the people there, which was just lovely. But I want to show you what I ended up getting. So, ooh, sorry. That was probably very loud. That was just my phone falling. So the Maine Yarn Cruise is a yarn crawl that is all throughout the state of Maine. And so it goes on like all summer long, basically. It was still going on like through October, I believe, or I think it has ended now, but it was a long time going. So they all have different bags at the store. And so they gifted me a bag, which was so sweet. Nice, good canvas bag. Use these all of the time. And then they had a bunch of stuff made in Maine. They had a whole, what are they called? Like island of yarns made in Maine. So I got quite a few of them. I got a mini skein from Asylum Fiber. And I tried to look for things that were kind of reminded me of Maine or were kind of reminded me of Acadia. This is called, actually, I don't know what this is. She Fell. I don't know. But it kind of, the colors kind of made me think of the water, which we saw a lot of water in Maine. So that was perfect for my blanket. Then Seven Sisters Arts is another one in Maine. I thought this color was really pretty. It's called Purple Mountain. And then the last one I got is the Wicked Nita, which is funny if you haven't heard a Maine accent. It's like lobster, Nita. Not everyone talks like that, but it was very funny. I think it's a cute name, and I really liked this color. This one's called Undertow. So very happy to get all of these. Also, when you go into Yard Goods, they gave these to me and they gave them to another customer that was in there. So I don't know if they do this for everyone who goes in for the first time, but they have nail files with their name on it. Come on, focus camera. There we go, which are always handy to have, in your yarn bag, because when you're knitting and crocheting and your nail snagging, that's annoying. Also, tape measure that has their phone number and it says Yard Goods Center on it. So I got that, which was nice. And then they also had a lot of other products. This is Katrinkles, so this is not like hyper local, but they did have like other cutesy like Maine things. So I love this because it's Maine, but with knit stitches. So I feel like this is going to go on my, I usually do, well, when we're staying in the house, I have a small Christmas tree that I have a lot of yarn and knitting related ornaments on. So I think that will be fun. And then the last thing I got here is this really cute bag that's actually for Toaster, because we got to bring Toaster in and Joyce was so sweet and loved Toaster. And it says home is where the dog is. And it's got this cute doggy prints all over it. And then opens up and has, opens up really nicely. I think it's kind of like a cosmetic style bag, but I think we're going to give it to Toaster. He can do something with it. That's for you, buddy. You remember Joyce? He remembers. He had a great time in there. It was so fun. So that was really fun. A really special treat that we had not like planned out, but kind of just like worked out in that day. That was amazing. So then we made our way down to Portland, Maine, which is oh, sorry, buddy. You didn't want to hold on to that, which is a really cool place. We went to Knitwit Yarn Shop to film our tour, and they also have a lot of great local stuff. And I'm trying to remember, I think it was Quince & Co. They were like the original flagship store for Quince & Co. Do you remember, Kent? Is that the right company? So they have a lot, like all of their bases and all different things from them. And then they also have a lot of indie dyers that are from Maine. So that was a really great place to be. We had a meet and greet, which ended up being a small group, which was really nice. We just got to sit and chat and everything. That was really wonderful. And then we were having so much fun. We ended up at Rising Tide Brewery, which was just a little ways from the yarn store, and continued to hang out. We were able to bring Toaster with us, which was really fun. So that was really great. I got another Maine yarn dyer. There were so many yarn dyers in Maine. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get one from everybody, but I did get one from, what does this say? Snallygaster Fibers. Born in Baltimore, died in Maine. And this is the Polaris color. I think this was one, they do, wait, no, Polaris is the base. It's called Toes in the Water. Toes in the Water. And Knitwit Yarn Shop does a subscription box where they put together yarn dyers. They may be from Maine or they may just have another connection. And then a designer and then all these other cutesy things. And they do these like quarterly boxes. So this, I believe, was one of the colors from their quarterly box. So I think it was a color you could only get there in the shop. We stayed a few more days in Portland with family. And one morning, Toaster and I joined the family for a walk with their dog. And it was beautiful. We drove a little ways to this island and then we walked around the island and it was like, you could just see the water. It was so beautiful. It was like a really nice day. It was chilly, but it was also the sun was out, which was lovely. So that was a really good time. I took some video while we were doing that. Then we made it into our 49th state, another brand new state for us, all three of us, New Hampshire. And we drove a scenic byway called the Kangamungus Highway. I think that's the way that people say it, even though to me it doesn't look like that's how you would say it. But a lot of people like driving this byway because it is very scenic and it is perfect for leaf peeping. So going and seeing all the changing colors of the trees. I took tons of video while we were driving. It's really hard to capture just how vibrant the colors are. But it was a really cool drive. So we enjoyed that a lot. And we even saw more just beautiful drives going into the different places that we were going after that, not just on this highway. We had a really fun incident where we got to go to another yarn shop that we weren't planning on going to. So we've actually now crossed over 150 yarn stores on our journey. So since August of last year to now, we've been to just over 150 yarn stores, which is wild. So we were driving down this road and Kent was like, oh my gosh, look, yarn shop. And he does this to me a lot where he says, oh, look, yarn shop, or like, oh, it says yarn and it doesn't actually say yarn, but this time it really did. And so we turned around and we went back and we went to Five Sisters Farm Yarn Shop in Plainfield, New Hampshire. And we got to meet the owner, Meg, and we got to see the Shetland sheep that she has. We got to go into her little shop that she opened this summer and get some yarn. I included a lot of this in my vlog that went out Tuesday, so I'm not going to talk in too much detail about it, but I wanted to show you the yarn that I got. And I'm really, really excited about it. So this is 100% natural Shetland wool from Five Sisters Farm. And she had a couple of different places where she was getting her yarn milled. So I can't recall exactly where this one was milled, but I think most of them were milled either in Vermont or in New York. So nearby. I really like this color. It's like this deep, deep, deep brown that almost looks black, but it's got a lot of flecks of white in it, and it is a natural. I have 4 skeins of this. It's a jumper weight, so it's kind of a light fingering weight, and it is 475 yards, 2-ply yarn. And the sheep's name is on here, but now I forgot already how she said it. I think it's Callius. I don't remember. She told me, but I totally forgot. But instead of doing like a traditional color work sort of a pattern, I found in one of the books that she had a like all over lace cardigan that I'm thinking about doing. So that's definitely a next year project, but hopefully early next year. I'd really like to make it. All right. Then also in New Hampshire, we went to the Woolly Thistle in West Lebanon, New Hampshire, not far, like 15 minutes from Five Sisters. And so that was our planned tour. So we filmed there in the morning with Corrine, the owner, got to know her, got to see all of their yarns. This is a really cool shop. They have a lot of yarns from the UK, from Europe, from Scandinavia that you might not see in other yarn stores. They're one of the first people. I remember hearing their advertisements like when I was listening to podcasts 8 years ago, like this is your store to get things that are, you have to pay overseas like shipping for, like they got you. They already have it here in the US doing all the import for you. So they've recently opened their brick and mortar this summer. And so we're really excited to get to see it. And I can't wait to share it with you. I believe this is going to be our first tour of 2025 and the first Saturday in January. So stay tuned because we got a lot of cool stuff still coming up in the next few months. We also did a meet and greet there and got to meet a lot of lovely people. So that was really, really fun. Okay, that brings us to current situation. We are in Vermont, but I think I'm going to save all the Vermont things for next week, for next week's episode, because I have a lot to share with you about Vermont. Okay, I think that's everything. That was actually faster than I thought it was going to be. What did I miss? Oh, I missed all the things I got at the Woolly Thistle. I knew I missed some things. Okay, let's talk about what I got at the Woolly Thistle, because they have a lot of fun stuff. So first, they gifted me this amazing box. So they have this cool thing there and you can get it online. They ship everywhere. And it is called I think they called it their wool sampler box because they know that they have a lot of yarns that maybe not everyone is familiar with. And maybe you just want to kind of try them out and see what you think. So this is their sampler box. They also have them in store if you're able to go in store. And it comes with a few different things. It has some beautiful cards with a thistle on them. These apparently are all over Scotland, which is why they're called the Woolly Thistle. Cute little bag with their logo on it. Some stickers, very fun. And a couple of goodies, and then I promise I'm going to get to the yarn. A little bottle of Eucalan, little tough woolens, and a stitch marker. Okay, so now we're getting into the yarn. So there are 2 skeins of Let Lopey, which is kind of like definitely a woolier wool. I'm trying to see, the label is not in English. Oh wait, no, it is. Made from Icelandic wool, pure wool. So definitely something fun to try. Then there are 2 skeins of Rama Garn, which is Corinne's, one of her favorite companies. She said there's another yarn they make that's like a finer yarn that she loves a lot and has a sweater pattern designed out of. So that's fun to try. That one, to me, it's a little softer than the Let Lopey. And then one of the yarns I think they're most known for carrying, Jameson and Smith, very popular for color work. There's 2 balls of that. So I think that's really fun. You got all these different yarns to try in a much more like tangible way. So if you're interested in trying some more woolly wools, that might be a really great option for you. So that was really sweet of them. They gifted me that. So thank you so much. Then they also gave me one of their other bags. How cute is that? And they have their own line of yarn now. So this one is made in the US, although it is inspired by their love for British breeds. So actually, let me read what it says. Inspired by our love for British breeds and sourced from American wools with Southern Adirondack Fiber Producers Cooperative, Rambler is spun in New York State. So this is their sock weight yarn. This is the natural. So this is what it looks like before it is dyed. And then this is one of their lovely dyed colorways. This is lupine, which we learned is a flower that grows a lot in like Maine and other areas. So I really liked these 2 together, but the whole palette that they have in the store is really beautiful, solids, really, really nice. So that was really cool. Really cool to find. Also, they gave me this cedar thing, which I think is for storing wools. It smells really good. So I've never used that before. So let me know how you use that. I'm just looking actually at what else is in here. Oh my gosh, can't we have a magnet? That's cute. We can put that up and all different things. So that was a really fun stop. So like I said, I got a lot of yarn that came in this week. Did I miss anything? I think I got it all. But yeah, I didn't want to drag all of those things out to where I was filming today. So now I'm going to send you back outside. We're back out here for the last segment. So let's talk about what is coming up in the next few weeks. So first of all, there is no yarn store tour this Saturday, no virtual yarn store tour. We decided to take a rest this week because we are going to be in person at Rhinebeck. And again, if you want to come and meet us, we are going to be there all of the days. On Friday, I'm going to be at a Woolen Affair just for the morning. And then Saturday, we'll be there all day long. But specifically doing a meet and greet from 1 to 2 o'clock at the bottom of the hill. If you see me wandering around Rhinebeck, sure, please come up and say hi. I'm going to have stickers. Make sure to ask me for a sticker. If you want to take a picture, totally cool with that. I'm not going to ask you, so you're welcome to ask me if that's something you're interested in. I'm totally fine with that. So if you see me around, definitely come and say hi. But then specifically, if you don't see me, I will be at the bottom of the hill 1 to 2 o'clock on Saturday. I'm also going to be there on Sunday. Sunday historically is a much calmer day. So if you see me on Sunday, come and say hi as well. So no yarn store tour basically. But then after that, the following Saturday, we're going to be headed to West Virginia. Okay, what else is happening? Winter Magic Kits. I actually covered a lot of this earlier when I was talking about my socks, but basically, if you are looking for the kit, go to covencollective.us. If you're looking for the pattern, head to Ravelry. I am planning to also get my pattern up on Etsy. It's just taking me a little bit longer to get it up on there. Basically, I just haven't done it yet. It won't take me that long once I get it up on there, but I will get it up on Etsy in case Ravelry is not an option for you. And because we're not, you can start whenever you want. If you want to make the socks now, make the socks now. But our make along doesn't start until November 29th. So I'm like, I have a minute to get them up there, but I am going to get them onto Etsy. And if neither of those platforms work for you and you need something else, just send me an email and let me know. Okay, already covered the Rhinebeck meetup, perfect. The next yarn store meetup we have is in Brooklyn at Cleo's. We're gonna be there on Friday, October 25th from 5 to 8 for their weekly happy hour. I'm really excited to go to this yarn store. It looks so cool. It's a yarn store slash cafe. There's a lot of space in there. I think it's gonna be really fun. So if I don't see you in Rhinebeck, but maybe you're in the New York City area, come and meet me in Brooklyn at Cleo's. I'm so excited for that. It's wild because we don't really have too much else on the schedule for this year. And I'm really grateful for that because I'm excited to start winding down and resting. And the travel is so fun, but it is a lot. But it also feels like, wait, where are we going to see people? What are we going to be doing? So it's kind of wild to kind of say that this is our last scheduled thing of the year, Rhinebeck and going to Cleo's. It's just crazy. I mean, I think there will be more. I'm hoping we're going to Ohio. So again, stay tuned for all of that. I have no new Yarny events to share with you. Everything is still on the website, nittynatty.com. You go to Yarny events, it's all on there. But if you're hearing of new events that you don't see on the website, let me know. I am super happy to add them. Okay, I think that's everything for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here for all 50 states. You're the best. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.